Hi everyone, in today's lesson, we will be looking into price elasticity of demand, PED. By the end of this video, you will understand the definition, formula, how to calculate it, what the different elasticity values mean in real life. Let's get started. Price elasticity of demand measures the degree of responsiveness of the quantity demanded of a good to a change in its price. So whenever the price of a good changes, PED tells us how strongly consumers react. And PED can be calculated as the percentage change in quantity demanded of the good divided by the percentage change in its price. PED is normally negative because price and quantity demanded move in opposite directions according to the law of demand. For example, when price increases, quantity demanded drops, and vice versa. But for simplicity, in most calculations, we talk about the absolute value. Now, let's look at a numerical example. Imagine that the price of cinema ticket goes up by 10%, and as a result, the number of tickets sold falls by 20%. PED equals positive 20% divided by negative 10%, minus 2. In absolute terms, PED is 2, which means that demand is relatively price elastic since the percentage change in quantity demanded exceeds the percentage change in price, signaling that consumers are very responsive to price changes. Now, let's look at some of the diagrams. Demand is relatively price elastic when PED is greater than 1 and the demand curve is flat. This means consumers respond strongly to price changes. A given proportionate change in price will lead to a more than proportionate change in quantity demanded. Real-life examples include airline tickets. If flight prices rise, many people switch airline companies or delay travel. And restaurant dining. People can easily switch to cheaper restaurant options or cook at home. And tech gadgets like tablets or headphones. Very competitive market, and small price changes strongly affect sales. These markets have lots of substitutes, so quantity demanded is very sensitive to price changes. Demand is perfectly price elastic when PED equals infinity. Here, consumers will only buy at one single price. If the price rises even slightly, quantity demanded falls to zero. Real-life examples include foreign exchange dealers on electronic trading platforms. If one trader offers British pound sterling at even 0.01% more than another, buyers instantly switch. And commodity trading terminals. For identical gold bars or wheat contracts, even tiny price gaps cause buyers to move instantly. Perfect substitutes plus instant information makes demand almost perfectly price elastic. And demand is unitary price elastic when PED equals 1 and when we draw a downward rectangular hyperbola as demand. Unitary elasticity means that the percentage change in quantity demanded equals the percentage change in price. And unitary elasticity doesn't occur very often in a perfect form. We can see approximate unitary patterns under certain conditions. For example, mid-range prices, competitive markets with many substitutes. Consumers respond, but not excessively, and firms often find their revenues roughly stable after price changes. These markets sit in the middle between necessities and luxuries. And demand is price inelastic or relatively price inelastic when we draw a relatively steep demand curve with PED smaller than 1. Consumers don't respond strongly to price changes, and a given price change will lead to a less than proportionate change in quantity demanded. And real-life examples include petrol or gasoline. People still need to drive even after the price increases. And cigarettes that are highly price inelastic due to addiction, as well as basic food items like bread, salt, cooking oil, everyday essentials with very few substitutes. Even if the price rises, people still buy almost the same amount. And demand is perfectly price inelastic when PED equals 0 and when we draw a vertical demand curve. Quantity demanded doesn't change at all, no matter what the price is. Real-life examples include life-saving medicines such as insulin for diabetics, certain essential medical treatments like chemotherapy sessions, where consumers have no ability to reduce consumption, and substitutes don't exist. And that's